Hello and welcome, Sacred Sisters, to day 2 of your new moon, take 1 in Leo messages. So it's been really interesting since I last recorded for you. I've been totally tuned in. I'm going to show you something, and it doesn't really look like too much here. And this just came through for those of us gathered here. And it really is infused with energies, and there are guides in here that seek to support you. And I'm going to share with you right after this video the video I did with that image. And it feels very powerful. And I feel very grateful for the connection we share. So yesterday afternoon, at probably mid-afternoon, I was just overcome with a wave of complete exhaustion. And once I got, dinner done and taken care of for the family, I laid down and had to rest for a couple of hours, at least, probably 3. And then get up from that and still feel very kind of heavy, and not necessarily heavy, like emotional heavy, just density. So then last night I had a beautiful cleansing bath. Oh, yay, the sun. Nice. I had a nice detox bath and went to bed early. And this morning I came down to the lake and did some chanting and sound work with the lake for all of us gathered here. Went home and did some, self-care things. I did some baking this morning. I made some food for the dog. Went to the grocery store, took Jacob's skates and got those sharpened, did all that kind of stuff, and then was guided to come back here to the lake and bring my sketchbook, which I haven't played in for a long time. And it was really interesting because one of the pieces that kept falling out, which was in the sketchbook, was this little ditty that I don't even remember when it was done. Some of you may have shared it with you, but it fell out right underneath my healing tree here. And I was guided to hold it up like that. And it just says to me that we are always receiving. And what we're receiving, I mean, what do you receive from that, if anything? Oh, there's a crow. It just flew right by over the lake. They're all around here today. And there's another one. Oh, God. Maybe, I don't know. You might have seen it in the video. And that's unusual for the crows. Now they're walking on the beach. It's really rather unusual for them to fly out over the lake. It doesn't happen too often. So just know, although there hasn't been a lot of recorded messages, there is a lot of energy work going on, a lot of energetic support. We're incredibly supported, and it really does feel good. We are in the midst of the process of alchemy, each of us in our own experience and our own unique way. And as this was coming through, this card was sitting there, and I could see Bridget, and, I'm doing the... adding the colors I'm guided to add, and the shapes, and it's mostly the infinity symbol in there. Actually, my name, and not my name, the letter L, the way I've always written the letter L, and then it just flows into this infinity symbol. And it felt so therapeutic when it was coming through, and it really did feel like, that the part of the messages we were receiving yesterday is that we are all energy healing artists, intuitive healing artists, and this is energy work, and it's the intention, and it's our connection, and it's what comes through, and everybody's going to receive from that image different. And there's no right or wrong way to receive. We're only asked and called to be open to receiving. So I mentioned to you yesterday in the messages that we received the manipulation card and the success card as well. And these were the three cards from, or the four cards. It was alchemy, it was manipulation, mother creativity, and then success. And what this really speaks of is that, again, in our experience, we're all, transforming ourselves. We are all being transformed from the inside out. And, in many cases, based on our actions of self-care and love and honoring of the messages we receive from our crew and our higher self. And it's 555 there. And for, a millennia of time, there has been, an energy of manipulation, and we have also, that has been internalized. And yet now at this time, we are stepping into our medicine, our magic, as, high priestesses of light in our own lives, here to serve. And we serve through our creativity, through that mothering energy is the nurturing energy. It's Mother Earth. It's our connection to her. It's the wind. It's the waters. It's all of it. And this is such a beautiful place to receive and to offer love from, is this place of connection to the mother. And so knowing that this is offered from that place, this flows from that place, feels really beautiful, and feels, for me personally, feels very, I almost feel like a weight's been lifted off of my shoulders. And what our guides are saying to us, what we're being shown and told, is that through, our creative expression, we step into and onto this path of abundance, and we are destined to succeed. And it's up to each of us to go after it, to I want to say chase that pot of gold, and yet I don't really feel like chase. Like, let that open up so that you can see that pot of gold flowing to you already. 6 vibration here. This is 5 vibration, so change. And then the 6 vibration, our galactic blueprint, our divine heritage, truly. And we are supported by our cosmic family, our family in the stars, as well as our family in spirit. Many of you know, though, that 6 is really connecting me to the cosmos these days, and has been for quite some time. So we're all being, there goes another crow. We're all receiving information and downloads, and we're all being guided at all times. Trust what we know, and share that in, spaces that we create really in our lives, whether it's in our homes, whether it's, the work that we do. Share, because we are here to share with one another, and those we are here to serve will be drawn to our frequency, or, the vibration of light that we hold. Also, like alchemy is really transformation, right? And this, these were mentioned yesterday. These were the cards that came through just prior to the new moon, as I was going to rest before getting up for ceremony. Transformation, it is taking place through each of us right now, at all times. And this feels like earth. I see trees, I feel trees here, and I see the sun, I feel the sun, solar plexus, and connecting our solar plexus, in fact, our heart to the earth really activates and supports the solar plexus, and supports us in operating from that balanced place of innate power and wisdom, which is gentle and kind, unconditionally loving, because we understand and realize that we are each the Christed child divine, and we are here to remember and simply shine our truth, sharing that. You'll notice here, and I love, it's like third eye activation, and yet it's more than that. It's the symbols that we're receiving, and it's the light we're receiving. And, it's beautiful to adorn ourselves with, crystals and paints and various things. Allow your unique light to shine, because each one of us is, this is what Jesus, I always feel Jesus with this card, and maybe it's just the association to Christ and the imagery on the card. This is, that is his teachings. This is what our brother supports us in remembering here and now, is that we are each, the Christ. And it's time to activate that child within and allow that child to lead the way through the creative mother and the supportive father, aligning more and more each day on to the path of integrity, to the path of complete and utter reliance and trust on higher self as a capable and trustworthy guide. Because when we do, then we reveal the real you. The real you and the real me is beautiful, and yet so many times we hide, we diminish, it was 11:22 there, we hide a little bit, and we deny that the real self is beautiful, and the real self is creative, and the real self is wise, and the real self is here to serve. And that is the truth for all of us. We are here now to serve, and we're here to serve the light, and we are here to serve, we're here to serve love. They just showed me like a soup kitchen, a ladle in a pot. That's what we're here to serve. We are here to serve love and anchor our light. Beauty. Beautiful, beautiful imagery. And finally, out of the Magdalene deck, it was this card. It was the heart and soul. And this is heart and soul, right? This is heart and soul. These messages that we share is heart and soul. Those the baking that we do, all of that, it's like doing it, trusting again and following that inner guidance, which knows what, our physical selves required to support and nurture ourselves. It is just living from the heart, because the heart, I believe, and some of you may have a different belief or understanding. For me, it is the heart, within deep in the heart, the seat of the heart, which is, or my human heart is the home for now of my eternal soul. And it's the heart that we came here to activate. And there has been a lot of heart clearing, in fact, in the last day or so. I felt a big opening through the back of my heart when I got down here to the lake today. And for a moment, it felt slightly uncomfortable. And then I was just guided again to breathe. And it was like, oh, yeah, that's what's happening. It was a opening. A heart opening through the back of the chakra, and it feels better now. And then we got finally, and Gina, thank you so much. I haven't had a look through all of the information at this point in time, but I know that you have shared a bunch of information of Sekhmet, and it's so beautiful. This is the Temple of Carnelian, entering the fierce belly of Sekhmet. And, again, the carnelian, oftentimes I associate with the sacral chakra, and here I totally feel it in my solar plexus chakra. And this is some of the wisdom we are being guided to trust, is that as the vibration on the planet changes, as our vibration changes, so does that of our crystal companions that are supporting us. And so does the way that they support us. We may be opening to new ways that they support. So what I'm being guided to say right now is, don't be limited by what the textbook information is about anything these days. Trust how it feels in your body. And when I connect with carnelian, and it's so funny, I bought myself a new lighter today, a few new ones, because we never seem to have them, and especially for me when I'm burning smudge. Anyways, look at the color. It's like so orange, and with that that piece of healing art that came through today, that was the base color. That's the color I was guided to start with. And so I'm feeling, I'm feeling Sekhmet as well. I feel strongly the presence of Archangel Metatron around in the last, well, he's always around. I do feel him more and more, and I feel him in connection with carnelian these days. So that again is a different presentation for me, and it's really beautiful. I welcome the new way of seeing, the new way of communicating, and I encourage you to as well, because there is a lot of new coming in these days. And it feels good. I just want to just turn you around a little bit here, see if I can show you what we got going on here. I'm burning some incense for all of us earlier. I hear the crows again. And the crows down here, they like to, crows love to mimic sound, and they can mimic so many of the birds around. And right now I think that's what they're doing, because there's probably some babies that are coming out, and birds are kind of crows are opportunists. I did one other thing. I saw this sweet little thing as I was on my way to the lake, and it was right at the corner of my street, just as I was making the turn to come down. So I was at a stop sign, and so I was. There's this little tiny, like this goldfinch, and it must have just come out of the nest, and it was like hopping around and making little sounds, and like, although I was like, oh, that poor little thing, look, it's so little, mama was close by watching, and yet this was a part of that little bird's experience. He has to learn to fly on his own, and that is part of what he will need as a survival skill, and in fact he'll thrive through that ability to fly. So I felt that there was an important message for us there too, and I figure he could be the little goldfinch from the nest in our yard, which would be really cool. They don't come into our yard though anymore with their babies because of the dog and the cat who likes to roam around the yard. So if I do find that little guy again, I will record. Oh, mosquito. I will record so you can see. Okay, I do not like mosquitoes because they don't usually come after me, but since I'm the only one here, I guess that they're taking a shining to me today. So anyways, I am going to say ciao for now. I am going to connect with some cards while we're down here. I do feel guided also. I know Donna said that she had pulled a crystal mandala card number 28. I do feel that that's important for us, and so we will be working with the energy of that card as well when we go back to the crystal grid. So I'm looking forward to sharing more with you. We'll see what comes through. I trust that you take what resonates and leave the rest in love, and that somehow these messages have been supportive to you. I'm sending you so much love, light, deep respect, and gratitude. Namaste.